You are telling a story, and it is clear, clean. You know exactly who hurt you. But when someone asks about the other parent, you pause. Your words slow down. You soften the tone. Yeah, but they weren't really like that. And you move on quickly. If you're still blaming one parent, you might be protecting the other. Blame feels like clarity, but sometimes it is the simplest version of the story your system could build to survive something more complex. When I was healing, I blamed my stepmother fully. She was there. She disciplined, she corrected, she reacted. She was present, so she carried the weight. And then something shifted. I was listening to a friend also blaming her mother. And a thought came in, where are the fathers? The absent parent often appears differently, occasionally present, warmer, less demanding, but not responsible. And the child adapts. So the present parent becomes the container, and the absent parent becomes protected. Not because they did more, because they were felt less. And that matters. This is what it looks like. You can clearly name the impact of the present parent: tone, pressure, correction, conflict. But when you speak about the absent parent, your language shifts, softer, vaguer, more forgiving. He did the best he could. He just wasn't emotional. At least he wasn't as bad. Before you've actually let yourself feel what was missing. You explain them. You soften them. You protect them. While the present parent holds the full emotional bill. In your body, you will feel it. One side has hit clarity, charge. The other feels distant, flat, unformed. That's not truth. That's adaptation. Let's get precise. A child's nervous system organizes around what is available. Present is concrete. Absence is abstract. You can respond to what's there. You cannot process what's missing in real time. So the psyche simplifies it. The pain must come from one who is here. Not because it's accurate, because it's workable. From a Jungian lens, this is projection. Charge gets assigned to presence. Absence remains unintegrated. And here's the part most people miss. That pattern doesn't stay in childhood. It repeats in relationships, in responsibility, in emotional labor. One person carries everything. Another gets protected by distance or low expectation. And it feels normal because it was. Notice where responsibility collapses onto one person. while another stays unexamined. That's the old structure. If I can locate it cleanly, I can manage it. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If you never allowed yourself to feel the impact of absence, who have you been over-blaming instead? Inside the infinity method, this is where projection collapses and responsibility becomes accurate. And here's the shift. You stop telling the clean story and you start completing it. When you notice yourself softening the absent parent, you pause. Do not add an extra explanation. You name it cleanly. He wasn't there. She didn't protect. They did not carry responsibility. And you let the sentence stand. No justification, no emotional cushioning. Then widen the frame. What did presence cost me? As well as what did absence cost me? Both. Not one or the other. And this matters more than people realize. Because accuracy ends fragmentation. When the story is incomplete, the psyche keeps organizing around distortion. One person becomes the problem, the other disappears into obstruction. And your nervous system never fully settled because part of reality is still missing from the frame. From a Jungian lens, integration requires the whole image, not to increase blame, to reduce projection, to stop carrying emotional weight in the wrong places. Because when the story becomes more accurate, your responses become more accurate too. Your boundaries, your grief, your discernment, your choices, not emotionally, structurally. And in present day relationships, when one person is carrying everything, you ask, am I recreating the same distribution? And that question interrupts the pattern. I noticed this in a conversation. Someone asked me about my childhood. I spoke clearly about one parent, specific, direct. Then I asked about the other, and I felt it. A pause. My body went quieter. Slight tension in my chest. The thought came in, just keep it simple. And I almost did. I almost said they did their best and nearly moved on. But then I stopped. And I said out loud, they weren't there in the way I needed it. And even saying that, I felt resistance. A second thought came in. That's too harsh. But it wasn't harsh. It was accurate. And that was the moment. Not blaming more, not attacking, just no longer protecting the gap. So let me leave you with this. When you tell your story, is it complete or just organized? You don't need a cleaner story. You need a more accurate one. You don't have to earn love to be safe. If this is landing, stay with me.